Did you know that some people actually hate the Beatles? We've got a collector's item this week that proves it.
Yeah, taste is subjective. It's a free country.
It certainly is.
Some wildly different pieces today.
Let's start with a beautiful example of that. We have an item currently sitting at a bid of $285. It's a deluxe photography book from Genesis Publications released in 2013, simply titled Photograph.
Oh, I love this book.
Great. And Ringo Starr was the one taking these photos during the band's downtime because, the other guys were just too famous to walk around with cameras.
Or they'd be mobbed instantly.
Yeah.
So Ringo had this incredibly unique vantage point.
Exactly. Now, the specs on this are wild. It's 304 pages, leather and cloth bound, comes in a 2-piece cloth box with a canvas carry bag, and it was limited to just 2,500 copies.
Wow.
Yeah, and this specific item is copy number 1974, near mint condition and signed by Ringo.
Okay, so let's jump into the real versus fake for this one. Because Genesis Publications is, they're the gold standard for limited edition music books.
So how do you verify it?
The numbering is key. Copy 1974 perfectly aligns with the documented limited run. When you see fakes in this space, scammers usually grab an unsigned standard edition of the book and just forge Ringo's signature.
Oh, so they aren't counterfeiting the whole leather-bound book?
Right. That's too expensive. So your due diligence is checking those exact binding materials and confirming the numbering matches the premium standard. And by the way, if you're listening to us on podcast and you want to see photos of these auction items and the eBay affiliate links, visit us at BeatlesFinds.com. Which perfectly bridges us to our next piece. We are moving from modern photography to a historically irreplaceable piece of art. A 3-signature yellow submarine storyboard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the fixed price on this is a staggering $65,000, or best offer.
That's a serious number. But it's a pencil rendering of the band in their Sgt. Pepper's outfits by Jack Stokes, the animation director.
And the story behind it is legendary. Stokes donated this back in March 2001 to a charity auction for children's hospitals. Originally, it was only signed by Stokes and Paul McCartney.
But then George Harrison and Ringo Starr added their signatures later.
Yes, but here is the twist. Paul had accidentally signed his name directly over Ringo's animated character instead of his own. Oh, no.
Yeah, so when George saw it, he humorously drew this big arrow correcting the geography, pointing from Paul's signature over to Paul's actual character. And then George added the Sanskrit symbol for Om.
That is just such a beautifully human moment between them. And it's heavy, too, because George passed away just 8 months later.
I know. It makes this one of the absolute last 3 Beatles-signed pieces in existence. Okay, so from a $65,000 piece of adoration, let's take a hard left turn into the rare dissenting minority of 1964. We have a 1964 To Hell with the Beatles 3.5-inch pin back button.
Oh, I love these.
It's hilarious, right? It's a lithographed tin button from the counter movement to Beatlemania, and the current bid is sitting at $117.50.
The irony is that nobody was mass-producing anti-Beatles merch back then, which makes this little contrarian button significantly rarer today than the pro-Beatles merchandise.
It's just simple economics of scarcity. Now, the condition is interesting. The seller notes faded red print, age spotting, and actual rust on the back, but it has a working pin.
And that brings us to the real versus fake segment. Those flaws, the rust and the age spotting,
Yeah.
they actually completely support its authenticity.
Wait, really? You'd want it to be rusty?
Yes. Tin oxidizes over 60 years. If you find one of these buttons and it is perfectly pristine and glossy, you are almost certainly looking at a modern reproduction.
Yep.
The chemical aging is your proof. So, due diligence is required, but the wear and tear is a good sign.
That makes perfect sense. All right, shifting gears from a physical button worn on a lapel to the premium physical audio format of 1964.
The reel-to-reel tape.
Yes, a Capitol Records release of pre-Beatlemania material, the early Beatles, and it's a 7.5 IPS stereo tape.
Which gave you a way better dynamic range than vinyl back in the day.
Exactly. But the crazy appeal here is that it's new and factory sealed in its original packaging. 60 years later. This is an audiophile's dream that belongs on a shelf, not on a tape deck. The current bid is $356.
Okay, but for real versus fake, this is the classic too good to be true danger zone. A pristine seal on a vintage item is a huge red flag.
Because anyone could just shrink wrap an old cardboard box in their garage.
Exactly. So buyers must authenticate the specific type of shrink wrap polymer used. You have to verify the Capitol Records packaging norms of the 1960s, like where the factory breathing holes were placed and the exact style of the heat seam. Buyer due diligence on the plastic itself is essential.
Wow, authenticating the packaging, not the tape. I love that. Let's move to our fifth and final item, transitioning from the physical album to the man who shaped the very sound on it. We have a Stratocaster pickguard signed by producer George Martin.
The fifth Beatle.
The very same. And his classical orchestral arrangements and studio genius are legendary. The current bid is sitting at just $66 right now.
That's surprisingly accessible.
It is. And the fascinating irony here, to me at least, is that the man who shaped their sound from the mixing console, not the stage, is signing a piece of electric guitar hardware. It perfectly symbolizes his massive impact on the electric era.
That is a brilliant juxtaposition, honestly. And for our real versus fake segment, this item comes with dual authentication from GSA and BAS.
Which is the absolute gold standard for autographs.
It is. However, a picture of a certificate on a listing isn't enough. Buyers still need to go to the official websites and look up those certification numbers themselves. You have to match the database entry to the exact item. Due diligence is always required.
Always. Well, as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. Just look around your room right now.
Okay, look at what?
What piece of seemingly disposable, everyday pop culture merchandise sitting in your house might be worth thousands at an auction in 60 years?
Huh. That is a wild thing to think about.
It's the Beatles. All day, every day, 8 days a week. Cass, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be here with bells on.
Until next time, when you listen.
Your mind conducts its own auction.